comes a new challenger!
Welcome, everybody. This is a show that is unnamed at this point, but the title will have a name, I promise you. We are having a Final Fantasy Brave Exvius discussion. I am with my colleague, Roue Cinnamon, avid player such as myself, and we are going to discuss today who is the most overrated unit in Final Fantasy Brave Exvius. I'm sure, Roue, you have your opinions, and I have mine. So let's kick it off. Who is number one that comes to your head for most overrated?
Okay, so I guess the clarification is, are we going, overrated right from the start, or overrated, after you saw it for a bit?
Well, let's cover both. So, we can do it, who is overrated off the rip, and then we can do who's overrated, in the long game.
Alright, let's see.
Just say his name. I know who you want to say. Just say his name.
It's okay. In the long game, I'm gonna be glad when Orlandeau moves out of the meta.
Ooh, okay, Orlandeau. I didn't think you were gonna say Orlandeau. That was my pick. I was gonna say Orlandeau.
Well, we're on the same. Here's the thing. There is so many, at least right now, and especially when we knew it, there is so many Divine Ruination alikes that Orlandeau just doesn't have a whole lot going with him.
He just got buffed.
He did just get buffed.
He just got buffed.
But Dark Veritas sure came out a little later, but Dark Veritas has one of the strongest stat debuffs in the game.
Yeah, he basically does everything Orlandeau, and he can hit AoE, and he can debuff AoE really, really strong. So, yeah, no, DV is superior to Orlandeau, for sure.
And there's also little things, obviously Orlandeau came out, everybody ran through all their tickets, and then, 1 or 2 weeks later, Fryevia came out, and nobody knew that was going to happen.
No, Fryevia was Atomic Bomb, for sure. I didn't even know anything about her. It took a while. Yeah, it took a while for her to come into the meta, and she's super good. Now, she's not without her weaknesses as well. But with that said, I don't know. Now, I guess that's a different question. Is Fryevia a stronger unit than Orlandeau? Because as an avid Fryevia player myself, I have two of them. And as far as you have your team that you plow through everything. And I have two Fryevias, single wielding, so you get the Doublehand buff, and one Magic's over 700, one's over 900. And I can crush pretty much everything. But with that said, if I have to run one solo, single with dual wield, I'm kind of unimpressed due to the fact how squishy she is. Her health is very low, and you're going to have to compromise that huge magic damage if you want to boost her health as well.
Especially where you don't see a whole lot of pairings of, hey, this buffs your health and your magic stuff.
Exactly, right? So there's none of that. Now you have, there's probably some things that are health of attack, but there's nothing health and magic. Now, nothing that I came across anyways.
Yeah,
4100 health, 4100 health, 4200 health, that's not good enough for the really hard bosses.
Yeah, absolutely.
If you're... Oh, go ahead, sorry.
Yeah, and and part of this is why there's, when Fryevia came out, there was pretty much one or two tanks, and both of them were cover tanks. You had Cecil and you had Warrior of Light. And if either of those didn't jump in front of Fryevia, she was just gibbed.
Oh, yeah, she'd get her, you get the first turn, you get your licks in, and then either you do it or you don't. And then if you don't, she's taking heat. No problem. So, she might be in the overrated category too, to be honest. She has big flaws, but the damage is there. The chaining and the damage is there. If I run a team with three of them, I mow through everything. Everything. But with that said, it's not practical for any of the trial bosses or anything like that, because you're just going to eat you up. You have to have specific teams, right? And she's not... I wouldn't say she's that one unit that makes any team better, right? You need to have a lot of stuff built around her. You need a lot of equipment around her. So she's good, but she's kind of a chore at the same time.
Yeah, it's like the eternal joke is that if you have 2 Fryevias to self-chain, what you really need is 4 Fryevias.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's like, honestly, if we want to go into it, I feel like especially if you go with a lot, like, I am in no way going to pretend I'm like a super high-end player on this. I'm not quite done. Like, I'm not cutting edge on content. I'm not whaling, but I do feel the general big damage focus, like one shot every boss, tends to be what a lot of people get hung up on, and that's not how most people play this game.
No, not at all. Not at all. Because it's not realistic, right? Like, you're depending on whales at that point if you're thinking about one shot. Like, I recently completed, finally, the Bahamut trial, and that was, like, it was more strategy involved and doing the right things in the right order as opposed to just trying to one-shot them. I tried the one-shot trick, I did it wrong, and I died every time. And then the person that had the Garnet with the Evo Mage plus whatever, it wasn't there anymore, so that option wasn't available, so you had to use actual strategy. And if you use the actual strategy and succeed, like, I find that's more rewarding than just one-shotting anyways.
Yeah, 100%. Like, I mean, it's a fun video game to play.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
Like, I know you were, and here's the plug. I know when you were streaming last night, you were talking about how when it comes to, like, the raid content, then you just want to be able to blast through that fast. But when it comes to your actual battles, you want to play the video game. It's a fun video game.
You want to earn it. You want to earn it, right? So just blasting through everything, like one-shotting or just not feeling any challenge, it would motivate you not to play, right? Because you have no reason to. You have no drive. You have no.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, I know I can kill everything, so I'm gonna focus my attention elsewhere.
So yeah.
So
yeah, in that case, like, I'm gonna say in that case, like, a lot of. I'll just straight up say, like, a lot of really, really in meta units are a bit overrated based on that criteria. That, oh yeah, you just need to get the optimal amount of damage. Because if you're looking at that, then your team is like 5 Fryevias because you spent, your kid's college tuition to get 5 of them.
That might actually cost your child's college tuition if you wailed for 5 Fryvias. I think mathematically it works out. I think you nailed it. Like, I couldn't think of when you first said that, I could not think of a number that you could put on that. But I think child's college tuition, and not community college either. Like, this is legit. You're going to university, right? Like, you're not going for like a trade. You're going for higher learning.
Yeah, you're going to a decent university.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. So, I don't know. Orlando's kind of moving in and out of my overrated list, just because when I think of Orlando, I think of what's the one unit that you could put on any team and make it better? Orlando fits that criteria. Like, there's no team that you can add him on that not make it better.
My argument about that is that's because everybody has an Orlandeau, because everybody spent that many tickets on it.
Besides me.
You can always count on somebody to have them, and then I think that's just like a fallacy of convenience at that point.
True enough, like you said, friend that's always there, Mr. Dependable. But at the same time, there's so much that he doesn't do. Like, if you are doing anything that requires like multiple enemies or multiple targets and not just one, like, he falls short, right? Like, he can only break one target. If he has an Esper that has the Blade Blitz, then you can get your AoE damage, but other than that, like, it's not... What do you have? You have nothing, right?
Versus, like, even Fryevia, like, she at least has Frost Flash.
She has Frost Flash.
And for when it was out, I mean, if you didn't have anything better, that's half decent in Arena, too.
Yeah, because it causes stop, so it's very good there. So, all right, so we'll say Orlando's on the list. Just he's Mr. Dependable, but he's not as good as you think. He's not going to change your life.
Yeah.
So let's see who else is on there. Who? Well, the blatantly obvious one for me, for Mr. Overrated, which it hurts my heart. It hurts my heart because I pulled him, just random donkey pulled him. You know what I'm gonna say. You know who I'm gonna say.
Oh, I think I know who you're gonna say.
You know who I'm gonna say. It's gonna be Cloud. Is that who you thought?
I thought it was gonna be Cloud.
Okay, good. All right. So,
here's the thing. I think in that exact same thing I just said, Cloud is gonna be in that same situation as Orlandeau because you're gonna have so many people with Cloud available.
yes and no. I don't think Cloud brings as much to the table as Orlandeau. So he is strictly finisher. That is it. So sometimes I don't even run a finisher. Like, I just run mad chainers and that's it.
I feel right now, especially if you play the way we play, running chainers is a stronger way because you need to build around that more, and you generally have to give up a slot to have a finisher on it.
Exactly.
Like, I ran Olive for so long, and at this point, I just run chainers now.
Well, that's the thing, right? And you can rack up the damage accumulates. Now, when you can get the chains down, and you can, like, I only have my Cloud at like 900 something attack, and like, if I get a good chain with like the 2 Fryevias and the DV, I can, like, his climb hazard is going to hit for 1,000,000, and that is awesome. That feels good.
Oh yeah,
that feels really good.
The whaliest whale I have on my list for a little bit had like a 1600 Cloud.
That's disgusting.
It's disgusting. Like, I mean, it's once again like looking at that, like looking at the equipment and materia slots. It's like TMR, super high end challenge reward. But and like you do that, and like Omni Slash is gross. Like, it's
his limit burst is so good. It's probably the best limit burst in the game, I would say.
Oh yeah,
like
without a doubt.
Like that, or I would say Riku's. That would be, now it's a different application, but at the same time, as far as flexing those clutch muscles and making things happen, like, Riku's limit burst is up there. Like, they would probably be the top two.
I'm gonna, like, if we want to take a break, most highly rated, but definitely deserving of that units in the game, Rikku is there. Everybody who told me, make sure you get a Rikku and make sure she's geared, was correct.
Oh yeah, like, there's some things I could never do without a Rikku, for sure. 1000%.
But I do agree, like, and Cloud, yeah, he hits hard, and that's the thing he does. I mean, he's a beefy boy. He has a lot of hit points, so
the health is good too. Yes, the health is very beneficial. Like, not even trying and just trying to max his attack, I have like 7k health on my Cloud.
But like, you're hitting climb hazard, and that's about it.
And that's it, right? And he has counter too, so the counter's good. Just because he has that horsepower behind him, but can you put him on any team and make that team better? No, you cannot. You have to have things built around him. You have to have the TMRs to make him great. Otherwise, you're just going to have another guy that hits like for 800, 900 attack, and I would argue that filling that role, Lunith will do better, because he's going to be a dual wielder.
I think when it comes to hitting hard, even if you don't have something like... Actually, you know what? This is a perfect example. That same, like, Moby Dick whale that I said had the disgusting Cloud, in the past week has switched back to Orlandeau.
Of course.
And I think you hit the nail on the head there. You have to build around Cloud. If you have a Cloud, you need to bring your own Cloud to the party. If you're throwing up a friend unit, Orlandeau, because, look, Orlandeau perfect chains with Orlandeau perfect chains with an enhanced Agrius, Dark Veritas, Beatrix when she comes out. Like, Divine Ruination and the Divine Ruination kind of alikes is a better thing to put in a friend slot.
Oh yeah, for sure. Like being a good guy and good to your fellow players. Yeah, Orlando's gonna get more mileage. Like the versatility is there, for sure. So,
but like I think honestly, I mean, and I kind of agree with that because like I mean, there's going on the overrated. I think even there's some meta argument that Dark Knight Cecil fully enhanced is a better capper in right now than Cloud is.
I've yet to come across one. Now, just from reading online, like Reddit, the wiki, and which is very good by the way, and everything else, it does have Dark Knight Cecil higher. I see him nowhere. Like, yeah, how many of your? I never see him. I seen a Kane, a 6-star Kane maxed out. I did not see a Dark Knight Cecil. Like, that Dragoon is missing.
It's I.
Is it?
I think it's just because you like for your cappers and finishers, you just bring your own to the party. Like that's.
I think that's
not a thing you put in a friend slot.
Yeah, I think that's what it is. For as far as finishers, yeah, it's you bring it yourself for sure. So
I think, yeah.
So who else do we have for this overrated list?
Okay, I think we've pretty much said every major damage unit in the game we think is overrated.
Well, Orlandeau, I'm still on the fence with Orlandeau, but he was like my initial impulse, but at the same time, right? Like, how can you be overrated if you can put him on any team and make that team better?
You're not wrong. You're like, it's to go back to our other hobby, it's you really want to call Doom overrated in Marvel 3.
But he's not.
But you can't.
You can't. He's the best in the game.
Because for that very reason, you can put him on any team and he's good.
And the team's better, yeah. Double
Oh, doing that editing, you're gonna recognize that waveform.
Yeah, that's definitely. I just look for the long, like, the flat lines. We just chop it up. I'm actually playing while we're talking here, just to have some scenery.
That's and fair. I mean, oh yeah, this isn't YouTube.
This is YouTube exclusive. We're not live on stream or anything like that, so we can kind of fly off the rails. But I'm trying to think who else is overrated and had a ton of hype. Okay, so I got it. Is any of the near units overrated? Because I'll tell you right now, I am very underwhelmed by A2. Now, I don't know if it's my inability to know how to use it properly.
Okay, I will say this because I've told this to a bunch of people. This is like this is just a flaw in the game and how it presents itself, because everybody's used to it's like, here's a unit that people say are strong, what remove am I going to use? All these, it's the one with the sword on it, it's the Divine Ruination one. It's not with A2.
So what is it with A2? What did I not use with A2? Is it because what I did was I used the I think it's called speed attack or quick attack, and then it unlocks the other one, and then I do the other one.
That's 2B.
I think, doesn't A2 have that as well?
Maybe she does. Anyway, A2 is offensive heal combo. It's ridiculous.
Offensive heal. Okay.
Yeah, there's one. It's like it's got the same icon as Osmos.
Oh, okay. I never touched that with A2, so I didn't have it spelled up enough for me. And like when you're using, I don't have one, so using one as a friend unit, you don't really have that opportunity to explore, right? Like, you'd use your turns, and then usually you win or you lose, and that's it. So, and if you're doing something specific, you're not in exploration mode. You're just trying to get her done. So,
yeah.
So I guess that's my bad. I was kind of free, but yeah, no. When I see A2s in the free list, in the friends list, like I avoid them just because I don't know how to utilize them. So I thought that like A2 had a lot of hype, Nier Automata had a lot of hype, and I was like, I got the units from the raid. They suck. They're not even. I sold them. I use them to raise the XP of someone else.
Yeah, it's yeah. 2B maybe like everybody places 2B a little higher, but here's the reason why I as I said, you're not the first person I told that to about A2, so...
Okay.
But, I mean, and if you look at that, A2 is once again in that same thing of just got that big dammy. Like, even her limit burst is just a big buff. It's a really good buff, but it's...
Her limit burst is savage. I love the animation for it, too. I actually, you know what? I just picked A2 for a friend unit, so we're gonna learn together today.
All right.
Well, actually, we're not learning together because you already know, so I'm gonna self-learn myself with your help.
All right.
All right, so... You said it looks like Osmose?
Yeah, it should be offensive heal combo.
Offensive heal combo. 50... You know what? I'm a scrub because usually when I have friend units that I'm not familiar with, what costs the most? It has to be the best, right? Usually, if it costs the most money, it has to be good. I never clicked that once with A2. I just went for the thing that unlocked the other thing, which led to my disappointment, which got me to put her on the overrated list. So let's see if she gets her way off the list. Now, I'm not familiar with the chaining and get the frames right for this gal, so I'm gonna hit her first. Not impressed. If I had an Orlandeau, I would have did more damage. If I had another DV, I would have did more damage.
Yeah, it's a chain unit.
Well, I tried to chain. I did all the different chaining with her. Now her counter was good. She hits like a truck. Like I'm using shouts to Novanoof. He helped me out big time starting off, but using his A2 has 1,000 attack. So offensive heal combo. Maybe I'm not getting the chain right. Maybe I'm missing.
I find it effectively interchangeable with a divine ruination.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Oh, there we go. Okay, I killed him second turn. Did 60% damage. I'm just farming the raid boss, so that worked. Okay, there you go. You said the right words. Divine ruination. Oh, it's like divine ruination. Perfect.
This is also because like for anything that's not like I have to pay attention to it since I'm generally using Trance Terra right now. It's just all right. I start on the second turn. I start my chaos waves and then I just throw shit into it and stuff dies.
So is the chaos waves they build every time you use it? Is that how it works?
Okay, so Trance Terra was all right. Like she was a strong mage before her enhancements.
Okay.
And like mages are generally, unfortunately, pretty underwhelming in the game.
For the most part, yeah. There's not many good mages, but hybrid damage is king.
Yeah. What happened was her enhancements gave her one with like just a crazy just percentage up, so always a good thing, just better passives.
Oh yeah.
But it allowed her enhancements on her magical activation and her chaos wave did two things. So generally her old magical activation was you use magical activation and then it gives her a little like magic boost, and then on the next turn you use your chaos wave, and the chaos wave is like super tight hits, like just a big like like simple wave, like good, but considering it took you 2 turns, not great. And the next turn you'd have to use magical activation again because you only got to use it once after it.
Okay, so that doesn't sound that good so far.
So the change was when it changed the two things. Magical activation now, when you use magical activation, you get another thing called Madouin's Power, which lets her dual cast her abilities. So now you're casting 2 chaos waves.
Ooh, okay.
And then her enhanced chaos wave lets you do another enhanced chaos wave after you did the enhanced chaos wave.
So it's stacking.
Yeah, so you only had to set up once, and as long as she didn't die, you just got to keep doing it for, I think it's like 3 or 4 turns, because then you have to do magical activation again to reactivate the Madouin's Power so you can continue double casting.
So she would be best mage in the game free.
Yeah, like she is best magic damage in the game free.
And I still think she's overrated. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm saying that because I picked you a few times and you let me down.
All right. Well,
I'm not trying to throw shots.
Now I've told you what to do. So
okay, I want to try it. All
right. I will come to defense. I think having to set up is a problem. and especially if you're just grinding content. I don't think it's as much of a problem if you're doing fights. The fact that if she dies, your combo can do it, that's a problem. I think, however, she has more general utility. Having like magic, like even just dual cast lets you grind through content pretty free. But she also has a full life. She has a cure. She has a 3 elemental resist.
Okay. So that's good stuff to bring to the table. This is stuff that I'm unaware of.
Yeah, and when you use that magical activation, you also get double cast white magic as well. So she can actually plop down 2 full lives if need be.
Okay, so that's dope. So that's good. So you may be swaying my opinion.
But she is in the same situation as a lot of these same damage dealers we're talking about, which is it's just this hyper focus on hey, she changed well, and she changed well into herself.
Aha, yes.
I pulled 2 of her.
Oh, you got 2, dirty.
I did pull 2. Same thing. So. You've got 2 Fryevia. I feel like anytime you have 2 of something and can self chain, and especially if you can toss in a 3rd one, then that swings your opinion.
For sure. Now, I guess to steer it back to overrated, I would have to put Fryevia there. Like, just because there's so much negative that comes with her. Like, you have to have a specific team to actually pick her for a friend unit. Now, I leave her as my friend unit just because I'm like, ooh, look what I got. But to be fair, she's probably not the best character I could put for a friend unit because, like, she chains with herself well. She doesn't change with Orlandeau well. She can, but, like, usually if I pick Orlandeau, it's because I have Fryevia, DV, Orlandeau. So, 2 can chain, put it all together. Shit's gonna happen. So, but you can't add her to any team and make them better, and she's a liability because her health is so low. Now, the saving grace for that is that she has that ability, well, not ability, but the passive where she'll take a killing blow but have 1 health left. And that has definitely saved my skin a lot of times, especially with running 2. But with that being said, I wouldn't want to rely on that, because if you have someone who hits multiple times hard, she's a goner. And then you're stuck trying to revive them, and then you're useless for a turn, and you're just digging the hole, right? It's just like getting in debt, right? You don't pay your bills, and then the debt's going to stack up, and then, in this case, you're going to die and lose your units.
And, like, the more I get into this, the more... I realize that we are pretty much only listing damage as overrated units. Because I feel like once... here's the unfortunate thing. It's a game about making numbers go up. So a vast majority of the units are going to be more in the realm of here's a unit that does damage.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
As said, like, there was a long time where there was, 2 viable tanks.
Yeah, well, the tank game probably could never be better at this point. Like, no, the
tank game's fucking tight right now.
Tank game's really good. Like, I randomly pulled a Mystia the other day. I'm like, woo! She's great. She has her flaws, but she is great.
But, like, because I think I'm at about a year playing now. But when I started playing, it was Cecil and White Knight Noel if you picked him.
Oh, yeah.
If you pulled him during Christmas.
Warrior of Light came along, too, once he got that 6-star upgrade.
Oh, yeah. Then Warrior of Light, for a little bit, you're like, oh, Cecil still has, his uses. Cecil's
TMR is still good. Cecil's TMR is still good, but maybe the 10-man trial. Like, maybe the 10-man trial.
I saw a lot of people talk about putting dual white magic or dual cast on Cecil so that you could heal with him.
Why? Just put a healer. There's a lot of good healers. Like, there's no shortage of healers. Even Fina 6-star is serviceable.
Yeah, lots of good healers. I was thinking about calling Tilith overrated.
I don't know. You know what? I would agree with Tilith being overrated. I would put... Tilith might be number 1 for overrated. Like, for all the time... Like, for the praise that she gets, she is super squishy, And you're compromising spirit or defense if you want to get her HP up. You can't equip weapons, like, she's a donkey. Now, she can't revive an individual unit. It's all or nothing. Now, that all or nothing is everybody back full health, which is awesome. Her MP recovery is very mediocre. I wouldn't even use her for a unit that can be a battery. Like, she's terrible. She's, like, Ace is god tier there.
Battery.
Yeah, no, Ace is the battery. Like, there's no other battery to compare to Ace. So, yeah, no, Tilith, that's probably the best overrated suggestion that I've heard.
Yeah, you know, sure. I was maybe going to do with it because what I was trying to think was, is Tilith overrated or did she just fall out of the meta? Meta? I never know how to say that word. But I think it's overrated. I honestly do think it's overrated. Just because your healer needs to do a lot, and if you have to commit hard into one thing every turn, then that's not great.
Oh yeah, no, it's a lot of all in. It's a lot of all in, and her buffs suck. Her buffs are not good. Like she has Rainbow Veil, which friggin' Cloud of Darkness has, like garbage for elemental resistance. And you have some, I forget what the other one's called. Actually, no, I don't have her here. I'm playing Arena, but she has another thing that boosts like attack, spirit, defense, and all that, and very mediocre, right? It's if I don't use another unit that can buff those things, she does not cover that job. I would say Yoshala is better than Tilith overall.
Yeah.
Yoshala doesn't have the AoE re-raise, but she has the dual cast, and you can raise two.
And I was going to say, well, but Yoshala is event limited, but so is Tilith, so doesn't even have that advantage.
Well, you know what? I got Tilith the second time around. The second time they did the is she from Tactics?
No, she's from the developer's other game.
Oh, Brave Frontier?
Yes.
Oh, I didn't know. I thought she was a Final Fantasy character. My bad. I didn't play Tactics, so I'm a fraud, but okay, so I didn't realize she's from Brave Frontier. So she's like in that Vargas category. Yeah, I got her the second wave, and I definitely use her. Like, I definitely use her.
Oh, I used her a bunch.
It's very specific applications, but I definitely use her. But she's not great at anything besides, like, bring your team back to full health and AoE re-raise. So I'm being very spoiled by saying this, but that's not good enough.
Yeah. And I don't use her now because I pulled a
Don't say it. Oh my god, just spoiled brat. Just gets what he wants.
I know, all the time. And here's the thing. Once again, the complete opposite of our theme. Units that are rated highly that completely deserve it. Yuck.
So she's the god. Like, I see her on the wiki, and she's rated as the god. So is it god status confirmed?
God status confirmed. Like, it's mainly because of what I just said there, which is she can do two things a turn and she can do them well.
Perfect.
Like, if you're like, and she has the same, like, she has even the same, like, heal everybody's hit points and mana except hers as Tilith. Like, she can drop re-raises too. Yeah, and she can cure all status effects. And she can cure stop. Nobody can cure stop except her.
Oh, that's dirty.
And
that's
she's
so good.
immune to stop.
And she's immune to stop, so there's no stopping. Yeah. So you're selling me. You're selling me hard on this one, and I'm a believer. Now, I didn't know at the time how good she was, so I didn't pull hard on that banner. I'm like, what am I going to pull hard for a 6-star healer for? What do I care?
And it goes, once again, right down to that. This is a game about making numbers go up, and you don't think about that. Like,
Spirit doesn't give you a boner.
Healers are never flashers.
Yeah.
Oh, no, it doesn't.
It doesn't.
That's not damage or magic. That's not a 1600 attack cloud.
Ooh, getting hot. Getting hot.
That's not it. That's not comparable to a Buster Sword downtown.
No, and that's a very good point. That's a very good point, right? So the Spirit doesn't have that sex appeal. So I guess to cap it off, for I guess on most overrated, what's the most overrated TMR?
Ooh.
I have mine. Whenever you're ready, I have mine lined up.
Okay, this is like what's overrated or what's falling in a meta.
That's a fair enough point. It's because it's you have to take a minute and think like, oh, it was good and then it stopped being good,
Right.
or you thought it was good and it let you down right away.
I will just go with what I have. I have too many dual wields now.
That was my pick. That was my pick. Yeah, dual wield.
But I think that's 100% a thing that's falling out of meta because there's too many alternate ways to get dual wield now, and we're about to shift into
the double hand era. It's upon us.
Double hand era.
Yeah, because if you were able to get Genji Glove, I think that's a different vessel for better vessel for dual wield than taking up a materia slot.
Materia slots are money.
I think that holds a higher value than having an accessory slot.
Plus, it's not only does it give you the dual wield, it gives you stats on top of it.
Exactly.
It's a better trade.
For
you can
sure.
do more with a materia slot than you can do with a the
accessory slot.
The accessory slot.
Yeah, for sure.
You also have to think about value. Genji Glove, what is it? Brave Swordsman, all of those are TMRs on
Dual
5-star basis.
Fair enough. Dual wield's easier to come by. It's still a TMR. You still have to grind it to that 100%, which sucks. But you have a better chance of pulling a Zidane than you do a Gilgamesh.
But I will say, I agree with you. I'm not excited to pull a Zidane like I used to be.
No, not at all. I have like 6 of them, and I farmed like none of them because I'm working on my boosting my magic, bro, but working on boosting my attack for my double hand, bro. So,
I'll shoot out a different one. Trance Terra's TMR is way overrated.
So what is her TMR?
Her TMR is like Genji Glove for dual cast.
Genji Glove for dual cast. So it's the same for magic.
Yeah. So okay. But here's the thing. Every unit there is no unit that you could put dual cast on that doesn't already have dual cast. It was a thing like when Fryevia was a really good healer.
I rocked Ariana Grande because of dual cast. I'm like, yep, you get dual cast with her if you get this item that's easy to get. Rocked her forever. Her next stat, Chain and Thunder, is great.
But every powerful mage that needs a dual cast has dual cast. I finished Esperterra's TMR because I saw it. It's like Genji Glove for dual cast. But I have it on my Ayaka for stats right now. It's good stats.
Well, that's the thing. If it gives good stats, but is it worth the grind?
I probably shouldn't have put it as high a priority as I did at that time.
I think you're drunk off the clout with her for a little bit. Just like, yes, I got her. Yes.
Oh, the pink wife.
I'm like that right now with Cloud because I'm like, I get this double hand. This is gonna change everything. He's gonna be so good, and like he's gonna get like 20 points of attack up, and I'm still not gonna break 1K. I never.
Okay, here's this. No, this is the dumbest thing because Mike finished his. I don't think it was a bust because Mike is another friend of ours who plays the game.
Cataclysm.
Catch
him Thursday nights watching Marvel.
He pulled both Cloud and the other unit for that.
Okay, yep.
And he finished up his Martial Glove, her TMR.
Okay.
And so he gathered the troops together to watch it.
Yeah.
And he's like, he's like, how much do you think it's going up by? It's like, I'm not really sure on this. And he's like, 100. And I'm like, 100. That seems pretty ambitious there. And then he jammed it on. His Cloud went up 207 attack points.
Holy Jesus.
True double hand is busted.
Wow. That's really good. If you get a 200 jump, like, that's so good.
And there's also, like, the... and this is the reason why the meta's changing, and Cloud isn't the best person to utilize this, but he does have the powerful TMR that enables it. True double hand works with two-handed weapons as well.
Yeah. So if you get that chainsaw.
Yeah. And the key of it, why that's important, not just because they have base stats, and this once again is like getting into the like mathy stuff of the game. You know how in like Diablo 3 or a Diablo game, like weapons have like minimum and maximum damage?
No, I didn't play any Diablo, so I'm sorry. I'm ruining this analogy.
Okay. All right. So essentially how it works is units essentially have a range that they can hit when they're rolling their damage. So let's say between between like a single hand weapon, you're looking at, all right, so it takes in all your stats, it accounts for everything, and then this weapon has like will hit between 4 and 6.
Okay, so it's RNG a little bit.
Yeah, it adds a little bit of that RNG is baked into the weapon.
Okay.
Double-handed weapons, it's like where you couldn't dual wield them, have a higher version of that. So like where the one-handed one will hit between 4 and 6, the double-handed one will hit between, say, 6 and 8.
Oh, okay. So
it's actually got like a secret unaccounted for reason it's higher once those two-handed weapons start coming into the game.
Okay, so that's awesome. So that gives me hope. That gives me hope that the Cloud is not a bad investment.
Yeah, apparently Zodiac Spear is the thing that we need to keep an eye out for.
I have Zodiac Spear. I have it equipped on my Zar Garbage. But yeah.
All right, get that on your Cloud.
Can Cloud equip spears?
He might not be able to.
I think his equipment's limited. His equipment's limited, I think. Because I never tried though. Actually, I have it here. I'm fighting Marbo right now. Not going too well.
Then, like, people apparently with this true double hand stuff, people start actually like saying, like, equipped spear or equipped bow material becomes worth it because of that like hidden jump. But that's like super mathy, super high end gameplay. That's the kind of stuff where I only know about it because somebody else worked way harder than I have ever in my life.
Well, that's fine, right? Like, we can definitely take advantage of the work of others. They did it to better mankind, so we would be doing them a disservice not to do it. Alright, so let's recap. Let's recap the list. So, overrated units. So, we both want to say Orlandeau, but he's on the fence. I think that's a fair assessment.
Your argument that you can just slot him in anywhere turned me around.
Turned you around, so I sold you on him.
Yeah, you sold me on him. I don't like that he doesn't have much utility, but at the same time, I'm bringing.
He's the Doctor Doom with this game.
I'm bringing my old toolbox. I don't need him to break. I don't need him to heal. Like,
you know what you need him for? Your foot dive.
Exactly.
Yeah. So he's your Doctor Doom. So okay. We'll axe him off the list. Cloud on the list.
Cloud on the list.
Fryevia, I would say on the list. And who else do we have on there? Trance.
Tilith.
Oh, Tilith's number 1 with a bullet, for sure. Tilith's number 1. I think we can both agree there. And for TMR, stop grinding your dual wield. It's good, but there's better out there.
Yeah, like I don't think having 1 or 2 dual wield, if that's the way, like if you're playing the game like us where you're not grinding hard, you're not wailing, like maybe you might run a macro now and then, but you're not going to lose sleep if you miss a few days. You're not sweating over lost arena bubbles. Then having 1 or 2 is not going to hurt you. But we're getting into the point where units either come, like there's lots of units within the box dual wield, or they're going to be better in with TDR builds.
Yeah, for sure, right? And, like, as the meta gets better, like, you're gonna get better mages. Like, we're starting to see that with Trance Terra, and, like, you're gonna have dual cast, right? So why are you gonna need dual wield with a unit that has dual cast? You're just gonna equip that stuff. The magic buffs I find are very good, so that's getting phased out.
And it's funny, it's because your dual wield eventually becomes on your mages. It goes on your mages so that they can slam 2 rods on and get more stats.
Yeah, that's savage. That's super savage. Alright, so what we'll do, we're getting long in the tooth here. We're going to wrap it up. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Roue, for ranting with me. This has been fantastic.
We'll do it more.
I can't wait to do it again. Yes, we'll have a new topic next time. If you like what you see, please subscribe. Follow Roue on Twitter.
Yeah, it is at Dan Rogers.
Dan Rogers, brother of Steve Rogers, who is basically Captain America.
I know.
So, yeah, at Dan Rogers. You can see my Twitch down below. Check it out. This is live broadcasts, and thank you very much for watching. Goodbye.
Have a good night.